we're going to start facing the low side of the chair with a little cat-cow. When we do our cat-cow, at first, shoot for just a light, gentle flexion and extension of the spine to put a little bit of lubrication into the bony prominences. And then once it feels a little bit warmed up, find that feeling of that good morning stretch when you go. So the first few, soft and gentle, and then put a little bit more intention into it. All right, so hands to the low surface of the chair. Find that sturdy stance first. And then take it into that cat-cow with the softness, a little drop of the belly, lift the chest, lift the tail, a little bit of a rounding of the back. Wake up your spine, wake up your nervous system. And then once that starts to feel good, add that little intention of that big good morning stretch. So as you inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, spread the collarbones, feel that nice stretch through the front of your belly. And then as you exhale and you round your back, a little bit of that oomph into the back body. So you just wake up the fascia, and the fascia gives us that nice bounce to our body. All right, go for one or two more cat-cows and then take a neutral spine, C-spine. So you're going to go opening out like you're hugging one hip to the shoulder. So you get that nice little space in the open side. And then in that open side, just take it like a good morning stretch, wake up that one open side, and then soften, bring it over to the other side. Hug in hip to shoulder. So now you've got a little stretched out open side. Take that into that big good morning stretch feeling, and then let it go. All right, now come back to center. Take one last cat-cow just to get that nice flexion and extension back into your spine. And then we're going to come flipping around, and it's going to be laddering, slow decelerization. So it's a sit to stand, but with each sit, you're going to go a little bit slower. So your count is going to be what your count is. So for the first one, you're just going to sit down and then stand back up. And then the next one, you're going to go just a little bit slower. And then you're going to come back up, and then you're going to see if you can add a little bit of a count. So maybe it's lowering for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1, and then stand up. And then maybe it's lowering for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then stand back up. And then you're going to see if you can just keep that slowness coming slower and slower with each time you sit your butt down. Those decelerizations just give us really good control of our quads, nice control of our back muscles, knowing where your seat is, that tuning into that proprioception. Last one, make it your slowest, slowest one. And then you're going to let your butt sit into the chair. So sit all the way down. And now I'm going to flip my chair around. We're going to go into 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds of the other for a little hip internal rotation. So you're going to scoot your butt forward so that your butt is just anchored at the edge of your chair. Widen your stance so the one leg is out of the way, and you're going to internally rotate. So your hips are going to stay cemented into your seat. You're going to drop that knee to the inside. Everybody's internal rotation might look a little bit different, and your one side might be a little different compared to the other. So just find that internal rotation, go just to the depth that feels good. Notice your breath, and notice if you start to hold any tension in your jaw. All right, when you're ready, switch it over to the other side. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Bring yourself up. Now we're going to flip our chair so that we're facing the tall side of the chair. We're going to go for some slow motion lunges. So we're going to alternate our rear lunge with a little bit of a knee dip. We have the chair there to offer that good sturdy hand support, but I want it slow. So like I said, we're playing with our pacing just a little bit today. So find your light touch handhold. So it's not a death grip. We just get that nice support team coming in. Step back, Slowly bring that knee down as far as it will comfortably go. Come back up with good control, step it in. And then it's all about that slow progression for this one. So nice and slow, bring your knee down. You want to feel your leg muscles working nice and strong, nice and sturdy. Keep a little bit of a lift to your chest and your chin and a light proprioceptive touch. So you want to feel like the chair is there for you, but if you wanted to, you could let your hands go. 20 seconds left. Keep this going, but to tell you where we're heading next, we're going to be doing some calf raises. It's going to be double calf raise, single calf raise, single calf raise. But if you've got anything going on with your feet or your ankles and single leg calf raise is going to be like questionable, do the safe one, just stick with the doubles. But if single leg calf raise is going to feel good to build that bit of individual strength, all right, take a second, step your feet in, light touch to the chair just for that proprioceptive touch. Double calf raise, so both heels lift, and then switch one foot, single leg, switch to the other foot, single leg, and then back to double. So you're just going to alternate between those three spaces, double, single, single, or stick with just the double if your ankles or your feet are requiring that little extra tender care. And then once you've got it going on, gaze forward, eyes on the horizon. Try to maintain that light touch to your chair. Slow for this one because later on we have sort of those bouncy calf raises where we focus on that push up maneuver. So just nice and slow and controlled for this round. 20 seconds left. All right, that's time. Stay at that tall side of the chair. Now we're going to take it into side leg lift. So bent knee, straight leg, whatever feels good. You're just going to go 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other. If you go straight leg, go for the toe and the knee pointing forward so it's not in a turned out position. We just want to feel like there's some good work coming out of your side of your butt, side of your hip. So if you're not sure, put your hand there, give that little palpation so you kind of feel the muscles doing a little contract and release. You can go for whatever pace here feels good, assuming that you're in good control. So your spine stays nice and upright. We're not shoving the hips around to get some good control. We just stay in that nice, upright, sturdy leg. 3 seconds left on this side. All right, when you're ready, switch it over to the other side. Straight leg or bent knee, no right or wrong. Go for the one that you're in good control of. Sometimes it's a little bit about spacing and proportions too. The bent knee just frees you up to have a little bit more room. Choose the pace that makes the most sense to you. Notice your breath. 5 seconds left. And time, nicely done. All right, take a second, whoops, shoop it out. All right, now we're gonna move our chair just a touch so that we can go into some side position work. So we're gonna do a single leg deadlift. So here's where you're gonna want your heavier hand weight, but just one. We're gonna load up the outer arm. So we're going to say the outer arm is loaded, the back leg is going to do your single leg deadlift. It's gonna be 30 seconds of work where we go hinging forward, let your hand touch the chair, come back up with good control. You can switch it so that you can hold the tall side. So if you need that extra bit of support, give yourself what you need. We've got 30 seconds of work, slow and steady. This one's all about that good strength and control where we come forward in that hinge position, touch the chair, come back up nice and slow. All right, now the next time you come into that forward position and the leg is in a lift, stay there, take it into a row. Scrape that elbow up towards the ceiling, lower with good control. We're keeping the leg up so that we ask for a little bit of challenge to our balance. All right, that's time. Come up to standing, stay on that side. Now we're going to be 30 seconds where we hold the arm in that chambered bicep curl, but the other leg is going to come up to the chair and it's going to do that nice hip flexor hop. So you're going to hold your arm in that chambered position, and then your other leg is going to tap up and down. 30 seconds of work there. Take your time. The arm stays in that held bent position, and the leg does a nice tapping up and down. Beautiful. All right, now leave your leg in that resting position and then go up and down with that bicep curl. All right, now we're going to flip around to the other side of the chair. So flip yourself around, and then so we stay in good left and right. Then once you're on to the other side, flip so that your hand is loaded. So opposite hand, opposite leg. Now we're taking it back to that single leg deadlift. So we hinge forward, touch the chair, come back up with slow control. 30 seconds of work there. All right, now the next time you come into that forward position, bring your hand to the chair, keep the leg in a lifted position, and take it into a row. So we're just scraping that elbow up towards the ceiling. Ten seconds left. Nice work. And time. Beautiful. All right, now we're coming up. Leg is on the chair for that hip flexor hop, and the arm is going to be held in that bent elbow position. So it's just in that strong chambered hold. Sturdy balance. You have your tall chair position, so you could touch the tall side of the chair if you need that little extra balance and support. And I say, don't be afraid to use those handholds. When you want to build strength in one place, sometimes you need to support it in other ways. So you build up the strength, you get good control, you get your proprioception to learn how to hold you in good balance. All right, now let your leg be in that resting position on the chair and take it into your bicep curl. Nice work. And time. Nicely done. All right, take a second. Put your hand weight down. Maybe scoot your chair just a little bit out of the way. Now we're going to take it into our bone density minute. So we're going to take it into our heel drops. For our heel drops, we want that big impact into our bony structure. So get that good impact going on. You want to feel it in your breath, and they want to use your breath to support it. So you let the breath go out with that impact. You're already halfway there. Just to tell you where we're going to go next, it'll be 50 jumps to whatever style you like. You can do a fake jump rope. You can jump yourself around. You can jump in all different directions. You can go single leg, double leg, all the good stuff. It's just meant to be playful movement to stimulate the body. So we've got this bone density stuff going on. We're putting some good impact into the sponginess of our bones. 5 seconds left. All right, now we're taking into our 50 jumps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Nice job. All right, now we're going to take it a light cardio. Grab one heavy hand weight or double light weights. So it's going to be butt kick, front raise. That's the work. Butt kick, front raise. Allow yourself to be a little bit lively with the work. Catch your breath though. Let your breath slow down. Return into breathing in and out through your nose. When you do that front raise though, especially if you're holding on to your heavy weight, no thrusting of the hips. We want that work to come out of the shoulders. Nice. When you're doing these butt kicks here, tune in and just notice how are your knees feeling, because next up we're going to do the bouncy knee squats. That's good to stimulate our fascia. So we just want to make sure that we go with the appropriate depth and speed and pace so it feels good to your knees. So take the time now to just check in. How are your knees feeling today? All right, that's time. Take a second, finish up your round. Put your hand weight down. All right, so 30 seconds, it's bouncy knees. These bouncy knees are meant to stimulate the fascia, the connective tissue, that collagen stuff that gives us our oomph. It shock absorbs and it gives us that like propelling. So think of this as that propel, and we just want to stimulate our propel. Does put a little heat in the knees, so you want to make sure that it's just a safe enough practice so it feels good. It's not about big crazy depth, it's about stimulation. 5 seconds left. We're taking it into those calf raises, so we want to propel up, up, up. You want that found propelling, work the fascia in that nice stimulating way. Shoot for that feeling of pushing upward. So you want it to feel athletic, like you can bounce, you can run, you can jump. Now we do have our chair nearby. For the next minute of work, it is going to be get up and down off of the floor. You have all different styles that you can go with. You can practice your crisscross applesauce. Coming down, maybe switch the cross, coming up. You can go non-crisscross applesauce. You use your chair. You can go for levels. You can go from your seat to the ground, to the seat, to the sky. You can come up and down in any way that makes good sense, but you've got to get up and down off the ground for a minute. How low you go is totally up to you. We want to feel like we can get up and down from any position, hands free. Use your hands, totally up to you. Find some stuff that feels playful. Find some stuff that feels like the real way that you come around your house, your kids, your grandkids, your cats, your dogs, all the good stuff. Hands-free is awesome because then you can come up and down with load. So if you want that little bit of practice, grab a hand weight, take it with you as you go. Give yourself that nice good challenge. We all know we've picked up a baby from the ground, holding that baby the whole entire time. So you know you can do it. You got 8 seconds left. All right, now we're going to come down onto our belly, taking it into our back extensions. So when you're ready, if you have tender hip points or tender tummy, put your blanket down, come down onto your belly, and we're going right into our back extensions. Arms in your favorite position. So whether you go Y, T, A, pick the one that you like, put your hands in that position, and then away we go. Lifting up and down. Feel that good squeeze in your back muscles and that nice controlled return. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. All right, that's time. Now we're going to flip it around so that we can take it onto our backside. We want our chair in front of us, low side, so that we can put our heels up onto the chair. So we get that nice work into the hamstrings for our hip bridges. If you like that blanket behind you to support the curves of your back, put your blanket 2 inches of thickness at least, put it behind you. And then once you come around in front of the chair, you're going to put your heels nice and close to the front edge of your seat. You're going to dig into those heels, especially if you've got the blanket underneath you. You're going to pick your butt up into a hover. You're going to hold that hover position, and then you're going to follow your breath. Exhale as you lift up your butt and squeeze. Inhale as you lower down. Bigger challenge, put your arms up in the sky. Take them out of play so they can't help you with the movement. You've got to use the backs of your legs, hamstrings, and your glutes. You're already halfway there. All right, let your hips return all the way down. Stretch your legs out, point your toes, taking it into our Pilates 100s, but the legs are gently resting against the low surface of the chair. So get your legs where you want them to be, point your toes, belly button to the spine, scoop up, hold that scooped up position, start to pump your arms. Inhale for a count of 5. Exhale if you can through your mouth for a count of 5. If you feel any strain in your neck, take it a little further into your belly. Do a little bit more of a crunch up. Get that belly button to the spine. And time. Nicely done. All right, take a second. If you have that blanket behind you, take a second and move it out of the way. Now we're going to take it into 30 seconds of that oblique work where we have the legs in that bent position and they just kind of rainbow over the seat of your chair. So legs float up into that reverse table position. Arms are out at your sides. And we just do that rainbow over. So you hit that side point where you feel the side of your waist muscles scrunch up just a little bit or do a little bit of firm work. So you want to feel into the side of your waist as you're going along. Knees drop over to one side, come through center, Knees go over to the other side. Nice work. All right, take a second as you come back to center. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little baby squeeze. Take a nice big breath. We're going to come up to a seated position for a little V-sit, twist, and reach. So sit yourself up. If you, like me, like to have that little cushioning behind you, put your blanket right underneath your butt. It's going to cushion the tailbone. It's going to put a little bit of lift into the hips. Legs out in front of you, nice bent knee position. You're going to lean back into that V-sit, twist and reach to one side, come through center, twist and reach to the other. Use your breath. Exhale as you twist. Inhale as you come back in. Five seconds left. All right, that's time. Now we're going to take it into our reverse table, single arm with the reach. If you've got anything going on with your shoulders and they don't like that reverse table position, perhaps it's just a little bit of a lift of the butt and down. So we get the shoulders to start to feel into that kind of movement. You adjust your hands so they land comfortably for you. Reach one hand back, lift your butt up, reaching over to the opposite side. So if your right hand's down, your left hand is reaching over to the right. Left hand's down, your right hand is reaching over to the left. Take it with good control. Make sure you stay safe and comfortable in your shoulders. Use your breath to help support the effort. So we don't hold breath. We use the inhale, we use the exhale. Or if you really hate it, since you're on mute, you can curse me out the whole entire time. I hear that cursing is really good to like help bully you up. So choose your own path. You're already halfway there. All right, that's time. Set your butt down, clear space just a little bit so you can go into a little bit of a wide leg shape. You're going to bring that chair in a little bit closer to you, and you're going to use the low surface of the chair to fold into. We want to feel like we get a nice feeling of stretch into the inner thighs. So widen your stance, pull the toes back just a little bit so that the toes don't fall in as you fold forward. And then nice long spine, reach towards that low surface of the chair. Feel that nice good stretch. Let it be for a second. Take a few slow breaths. All right, now for my yoga friends, we do that twisted wing position. Elbows are going to touch to the chair. So come away from your fold, right arm underneath the left. We wrap the arms up or we hold the shoulders. That's going to just depend on what your arms and shoulders do. Once you've got your eagle arms, you bring the elbows back to the low surface of the chair and you let your chest sink just a little bit. So you feel that nice opening through the back of the shoulder blades, through that upper back body, and then take 3 good, slow, deep breaths. Come up and away with control, and we switch the wrap of our arms. So for me, right arm was on bottom. Now right arm is going to come on top, left arm on bottom. Rewrap your arms, though one side might behave a little different from the other. So for some of us, it's a hug. Once you've got your wrap of your arms, elbows back to the chair, let your heart sink down just a touch. You feel that broadening through the back body, and then take a few slow, deep breaths. Nice. Take one more breath. All right, come away nice and slow. Unwrap your arms, give your shoulders that little shoop, shake out the etch sketch, if you will. Grab the pits of your knees, help your legs come in and together. Come up to a tabletop standing position. Once you've got your tabletop standing position, step your right leg back into a shortened lunge with your heel connected to the ground. Once you've got that heel connected to the ground, a light bend and straighten of the back leg. You want to feel like there's a stretch in your calf and then a stretch in the Achilles tendon. If, like me, you have a tendency towards fallen arches, flat feet, that back foot, you want to see if you can engage a little bit of a lift into the arch of the foot. So you're getting into the calf muscles and not falling inward too much with the foot. Go for one more little bend and straighten. See what you can find. All right, when you're ready, switch legs. Right foot forward, left foot back. Shortened lunge so the back heel connects to the ground. And then away we go. Bend and straighten the back leg. So it puts that little exchange from the calf to the Achilles tendon. Lovely. One more bend and straighten. Now we're going to step back to down dog. So hands are going to stay connected to the chair. Feet are going to step back, and then you're in that tipped sideways upside down V. Stretch your arms out, stretch out through the backs of your legs. So it's legs as straight as they feel comfortable going. Arms stretched out, heart softens down, head between the space of your arms. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. Bend your knees, push strong into your feet, slow walk yourself forward. Clear your space of your hand weights. Keep your chair though. Grab your foam roller and your massage balls, and we'll hit our feet, we'll hit our hamstrings, and then we'll do a little foam roller work. So for our feet, I will say probably go single ball if you can. If you have very tender feet, double, because it's going to distribute the pressure against your feet. Seated position we're going to shoot for today. So put your butt into your chair, place your ball onto the ground underneath your foot, and we're just going to start with a little soft roll. All right, one more moment just to soft roll the bottom of the foot, and then pass the ball over to your other foot and soft roll there. And I'm just going length of the foot, moving it across my foot in a way that feels just sort of natural. One more soft roll there, and then pass it back over to your starting foot. Put the ball underneath the ball toe mound of your foot. Let your heel come down. Lean into that leg. So you're just going to put a little bit of that forward body weight. And then with that slight forward body weight, lift and lower your toes. And then the next challenge, wave through your toes. You're going to go big toe to the little toe or little toe to the big toe, whatever wave you can get going, where the one toe leads and then the other four follow. All right, one more wave through the toe and then pivot across the ball toe mound of the foot. One more pivot across the ball toe mound. Take it down to your heel, move it down to your underneath your heel, and then keep that body weight forward again, and then pivot your heel a little side to side. One more pivot from side to side, and then pass that ball over to the other foot. Put it underneath the ball toe mound, heel to the ground, forward body weight, move your toes up and down. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw. All right, then when you're ready, take it into that wave of the toes. Go one big toe or pinky toe, doesn't matter which guy leads, but keep that slight forward body weight and try to find a little bit of that one toe leads and the other four follow. My left foot always has a harder time with the conversation. Sometimes I have to ask my fingers to do it, and then my toes can do it too. Nice. Take one more moment there and then bring it underneath your heel. Put a little forward body weight and pivot your heel. One more pivot of the heel. Now you're going to go back to your other foot. You're going to go big toe, possibly big toe, second toe. It's just going to kind of be like what guys go along for the ride. So we want big toe and extension. And then once you've got big toe and extension, you're going to keep the big toe and extension and take the foot for a walk. So you keep your toe in that upright lifted position up against the ball. And then we pick the heel up and down. All right, now move it down to like second toe, third toe, and then take it for a walk. Notice if you're holding any tension in your jaw. We want to breathe in and out through our nose. We want a good natural breath coming in and out, and we want a little bit of softness to our jaw if we can find it. All right, when you're ready, move it down, say third toe, fourth toe-ish, and then take it for a walk. Nice, and then take it down fourth toe, fifth toe-ish, and take it for a walk. All right, and then we're going to go down the blade edge of the foot towards the heel, and it's just going to be a smush, smush, smush. So you're going to take the ball so that it kind of lands on that blade edge of the foot, and you're going to smush as if it's trying to pick up that thick skin on the side of your foot. So you're going to push and smush, and then move it down an inch, push and smush, move it down an inch, push and smush, move it down, and then get towards that heel, that outer edge of your heel. Give it one last good push and smush. And then we're taking that all over to the other foot, big toe into extension. So get your other big toe into extension. Second toe might come along for the ride. Let it do what it wants to do, and then take your foot for a walk, just picking the heel up and down. Right away, notice, did you pick up any tension in your jaw? Jaw obsession today because my Mr. downstairs is suffering from that migraine, and he has been clenching his jaw. Work is stressful, so it's all like being held up here. And he says, "Oh, I've just been grinding my teeth." And I said, "Well, it could be from here, but it could also be from here. It could be from here. It could be from here. It could be from here." So you don't always know where it's coming from, but you know where it's showing up. All right, take one more up and down, and then move it down second toe, third toe-ish, and then take it for a walk. When you're ready, move it down to third toe, fourth toe-ish, and take it for a walk. Excellent. And then when you're ready, move it down again, maybe fourth toe, fifth toe-ish. Get those toes into a little bit of an extension, and then take it for a walk. Beautiful. All right, now we're going to do that smush, smush, smush down the blade edge of the foot. Don't worry about it being perfect. Just get into that pinky toe side of the foot, and then we do a little push so that that skin gets that little lift upward, and then we move it down an inch and we push, smush it up against the ball, and then we move it down another inch and we push and we smush so we get that blade edge. That blade edge of our foot is a big proprioceptor, so it's really important for our balance. So we want it to feel fascially alive. Give it a good smush, taking it closer to the heel, push and smush. And then one last time, take it to that edge of the heel, give it that good push and smush. All right, and then just give that whole foot a nice soft roll. Last little bit of work that we're going to do for the foot, won't use the ball, so we're going to put the ball somewhere strategically. Let's say we'll put it between our hands. Pass the ball over to the other foot, give it just that last little quick roll. When we do this next little bit of work, it's going to be a dome of the foot. You're going to hold the foot in a dome. You're going to lift, you're going to lower, you're going to stretch. So grab your ball, put the ball in between your hands, both feet on the ground. You're going to scrunch up your feet like you're trying to pick up your yoga mat with your feet. Lift so you get your feet into a slight dorsiflex position. Float them down, stretch them out. Scrunch. I'm going to zoom in just so you'll be able to see my feet, hopefully. So you're going to scrunch, lift, lower, release. Scrunch, lift, lower, release. Scrunch. I'm showing one foot, lift, lower, release. Do just a couple more. And I'm just holding that ball in between my hands for a little squeeze. Gives me something to focus on the top half. Scrunch, lift, lower, stretch, scrunch, lift, lower, stretch. Do it one more time. Scrunch, lift, lower, stretch. Nice job. Give your toes a little twinkle. Now take your ball, put it underneath your hamstring muscle. How you work your way into your chair is just going to kind of be what feels good and available. Go for the middleiest, thickest part of the back of your thigh. And then once you've got your way there, little toe turn in, toe turn out, or knee in, knee out. So you're just kind of rolling across the back of the thigh. One more roll and then let it settle into like the thickest, meatiest part of that middle of the thigh, and then a little kick of the leg, little hinge of the knee. Excellent. One more moment there. And then we're just going to move it down. So we're just going to come closer to the knee, but not underneath the knee, not in the knee pit proper. But so like split the difference and go somewhere in the middle of where you were to where your knee is. Find that spot and then see if you can come back to that little wave across. So knee turns in a little bit, knee turns out. Excellent. One more moment there and then go back to your little hinge. And then like how much body weight you put on is just going to be up to you, because you can push a little forward into it so it gets a little bit more oomph, or you can lighten up just a little bit or use your chair. So always strategize so it feels good, so it feels beneficial and you feel like you're working in collaboration with your body. Take one more second there, and then we're going to pivot it around to the other side. So spin yourself around in a way that makes good sense. Get your ball into the thickest, middleiest part of your thigh muscle. And then once you've got your way there, we're taking it for a wave. Knee drops in and the knee goes out. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, take it for the little hinge. Notice your breath. Can you take a nice big filling up breath in through your nose and a slow, slow exhalation out through your nose? And when you feel ready for it, we're going to move it down. So split the difference, go into that middle space between knee and the thickest part of your hamstring muscles, get that new spot, and then take it for a wave, just rolling across the ball. Beautiful. One more roll and then take it for your little hinge. Nice. One more moment there. And then take a second, grab that ball out from underneath you. We're going to come up and just turn to the low surface of the chair, down dog stretch, but down dog stretch with that little specificity of finding that stretch into the backs of your legs. So you're going to walk yourself back and think of it more about pushing your butt back to feel a stretch into from your butt down to your heels versus up into the shoulders, right? So push back into your butt, get that feeling of stretch into the backs of your legs, and just take a nice big breath. Wonderful. Soften your knees, come up nice and slow. All right, now we're going to flip it over to a foam roller. So grab your foam roller and we're going to move right into the upper back body. So we're just going to put the foam roller right up into that bra line area. So foam roller down on the ground, horizontal position. Maybe have your ball just a little bit nearby just in case. And then once you've got that foam roller behind you in that upper back body, support your head, tuck up your ponytail, pick up your butt, and roll. Just a nice slow roll from the low end of the rib cage all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. One more good slow roll up and down, and then you're going to line up your armpits, keep your arms out of the way, set your butt down, and then take it into those lat rolls. So we're just rolling over to one armpit and then rolling over to the other. The next time you're over to the right, stay there, adjust so that you can get into a side lying position, adjust your foam roller so it's nicely underneath that armpit area, and then take it into that nice tip forward and back. So you can use your hands to help you find that little pivotal movement, rocking forward and back, or stay hands-free. It's just really going to be what feels nice and comfortable. One more moment there, and then we're going to move it down like 2 inches. So pick up your side body, move the foam roller down about 2 inches, and then come right back into that rocking forward and back. One more rock forward and back, and then pick up again, move down another 2 inches or so, coming into that sort of like maybe slightly below the bra line area, and then come back to that tipping forward and back. We're going to go into the diaphragm. And when we get into that diaphragm, if you like just a little bit of work for your hands, we'll grab the ball and we'll put it underneath that nice mound of the thumb and do a little thumb wiggle. All right, take one more rock forward and back, and then take it so that it comes up underneath the curve of the ribs. We slack over so we get under the curve, slack over so it puts that little compression of the diaphragm. And then if you want, grab your massage ball, put it underneath your mound of your thumb. You stack your hands so you can put a little bit of downward pressure. And then that thumb that's on the ball, or the mound of the thumb that's on the ball, move that thumb in little circles. And then if your thumb's circling in one direction, reverse it, go the other way. One more circle, and then just give your hand a little smush and pivot all around that ball. Get a little massage across the palm. And then when you're ready, we're going to take all of that work to the other side. I'm going to flip myself around so I'm facing out to you, but we're coming up to that armpit area. So get back up over to the other side, come into that armpit area. Hands free or hands help support. Go where it feels good, but tip yourself forward and back. Nice. One more tip forward and back. And then when you're ready, lift up, move it down about 2 inches, find a new spot, and then rock yourself forward and back. Beautiful. One more rock forward and back, and then move it down another 2 inches. And then once you've got that new spot, rock it forward and back. One more rock forward and back, and then we move it down so that it's underneath the curve of the ribs. So we get into that diaphragm. So tilt it, tip it sideways, put it at an angle, get underneath the curve of the ribs, slack over that. So you just get that little compression, a little bit of breath, and then ball underneath the mound of the thumb. Other hand stacks on top to put that little compression. And then we just wiggle the thumb in circles, circle in one direction. Thumb circles the other way. All right, and then just a little smush across the palm. Get any little work into the palm, just allowing that top hand to kind of guide the way. Beautiful. One more second there. And then put your ball off to the side, come up. We're going to swing the legs around. We're going to go into a supported hip bridge position. So spin everything around, get that foam roller so it comes underneath your butt. And then give it a second. You want it to just feel like it's nice and comfortable, nice and sturdy up underneath your hips. Once you've got your way there, it's going to be opposite hand, opposite leg into that big good morning stretch feeling. So slide your right leg nice and long, flex your foot, stretch your left arm out and away. So you're in that little bit of an X pattern. And then you're going to inhale and pandiculate. So you're going to inhale, get that yawning, reaching stretch, and then let your exhale carry you into a little bit of softness. Do it again. Inhale, yawn and reach and stretch. Exhale for softness. One more here. Inhale, yawn and reach and stretch. Exhale for the softness, and then slide everything in, switch sides, left leg, right arm out and away from each other. And then we pandiculate. You inhale, flex the foot, spread your fingers, get that yawning, reaching stretch. And you want to definitely feel like there's something happening in the front pocket of that left jeans. And then soften on the exhale. Do it again. Inhale, yawn and reach and stretch. Exhale, soften. One more time, just like that. Inhale, yawn and reach and stretch. Exhale, soften. And now we're going to go both legs nice and long. And we want to feel like we're getting a good feeling of openness through that front pockets of the jeans. And then you're going to put your hands in your front pockets and you're going to do a little smush and pull, like you're trying to pull the hip bones out to the side of your butt. So you're just going to let your hands pull and drag. Pull and drag. So you're going to find the hip bones and then drag to the side of the hip bones and drag. Go for about 3 more if you can. Nice. Now step your feet slowly back into that bent knee position. Pause just for a moment in the supported hip bridge. Take a breath. Push into your feet, lift your butt up, hold in your hip bridge position, get a good squeeze of your butt muscles. Roll that foam roller out from underneath your butt. You're going to roll it down towards your ankles, towards your calves, and you're going to push the foam roller into your Achilles tendon. So you're getting a little bit of reach from your fingers, from your shoulders, your butt's still up nice and high. Feel that little touch point. Take a nice big breath. You want to feel like there's this nice big expansion up into the front pockets of your jeans. Take a nice big breath. And then you're going to think one vertebrae at a time to slow lower your way down. Take your time. Go as slow and controlled as you can. And then once your butt touches down, you're going to move that foam roller so it comes underneath your calf muscles, and you're going to take it for a foam roller walk. So you're just going to walk it up towards your pits of your knees and then walk it down towards your ankles. All right, now the next time you walk that foam roller into the thickest, meatiest part of your calf muscles, you're going to stay there, and you're just going to do little windshield wiper action. Let your legs just kind of roll gently from side to side. One more little windshield wiper action, and then legs come to a little bit of a stillness. Twirl your feet, circle in one direction. Circle the other way. Point your toes with a little bit of an intention. Stretch your toes as far away from the caps of your knees as you can imagine them up to go. Put that little feeling of stretch from your tops of your toes, up your shoelaces, up the fronts of your ankles. You may even feel it into the skin of your shins. Take a moment to just feel that good intentional stretch and a nice big breath. All right, let your feet soften just a little bit. Use your elbows. Prop yourself up. Take your time as you come up to a seat. Put the foam roller underneath the bend of your knees. Walk your sits bones back just a touch so it feels like you're kind of reaching your bum back towards the back edge of your mat. And then once you've got your butt back just a little bit, fold toward your toes. It does not matter if you can touch your toes. We just fold towards them. And you want to feel like there's just a little gentle stretch coming into your low back. And then take a nice big breath as if you're trying to breathe down past your low back into your sits bones. One more breath. And as we come up, we're going to do the lymphatic drag up the front of the body. So come up nice and slow. Come up in any way that makes good sense. But if it feels good to do so, spin your legs around. Maybe you come up into that forward fold position. So you just let your hands find the roller, step your feet up. And then as you grab that roller, bring it right up into the shoelaces. And then we push and drag. You're going to push up towards the knees, pick it up, push in, drag it up. Take a couple of push and drag. And then once you feel a little bit more alive in the fronts of your shins, now take it up gently over the knees, push in and drag up. If you are careful and you put a little bend in your knees, come right to the cap of your knee, push and then drag up. Just be mindful about how you push into your knees so that you're not hyperextending. If anybody has that tendency towards hyperextension, keep a good quality bend in the knees. All right, now take it a little bit at an angle. Drag up one IT band, drag it up the other, take a little kayak row, one IT band and then the other. Even yourself out on the IT band and then take it right into the front pockets of the jeans, drag across the hips. Excellent, and then take it up to that belly button line, drag across the soft tissue of the abdomen. Look for that last feeling of warmth that comes right across that center line of your belly as you drag. Lovely. And then once you feel that good warmth come into your center, place that foam roller down, tall setting. One last little down dog stretch just to kind of get into that back body one last time and feel in. Notice how your feet feel. Notice how the backs of your legs feel. Notice your back. Notice your shoulders. Take a nice big breath. Fill up with some good intentions for the rest of your day or for your weekend. And then when you're ready, bend your knees, step up nice and strong. Take a second, give it a little wiggle jiggle, shake out the Etch-a-Sketch. You guys are amazing. Man, we did everything on the list. I love when that happens.